How can I start to change my company's culture for the better? That question is from Amanda.
Cool. Thanks, Amanda, for asking that question. I feel like if I give answers about like leadership and like mindset, it's always the answers that like people need to hear, but they don't want to. You change your company's culture for the better by changing yourself. Okay. My company is a resemblance of my work on myself. I don't like the culture that I described in one of the previous episodes, which is we have it here: integrity, playfulness, obsession, and family. Those are just aspects of me. Like I don't have to sit there with like a consultant tell me you should have respect in your culture. I don't bring outside forces into what I want the culture to be in my company. I just said, what am I like? What do I think is right? What's my character like? And I broke it down and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like how we are actually. And I thought about my team. I'm like, we do resemble these qualities. It's kind of crazy. I don't know if I said this on an episode or if I said it. No, I said this to my brother. I'm like, it's insane. How much the culture of a company resembles the owner. So I'm like, I realized this like a month ago when Jay was leaving early and I'm like, where are you going? She goes, I gotta work out. I'm like, you work out? She goes, yeah. I'm like, I didn't know you work out. I didn't know you're working out. She goes, yeah, I gotta work out. And Isaiah's like, I'm working out too. I'm like, damn. And Iman's like, I'm running. And Lauren's like, I've been working out since I was born. I'm like, damn. It's some crazy stuff. And I'm like, when did you guys start working out? I didn't know you worked out. Right? I didn't think about it until, brought to my attention. And I'm like, this is weird because like you guys, some of you have been here for like way longer than 6-7 months, which is when I started working out. I'm like, back like a year ago, I didn't work out. I never worked out. I just worked at my office like till like 3 a.m. every day. But that's what we did then. So I'm like, as soon as like the environment, like I started to, and I can't take full credit for this. I'm not saying I'm the only reason, but I definitely know I'm a factor because I'm influencing the environment. As soon as I started to take charge of my health, and caring about it and working out, and not just like they know I'm working out, but they start seeing like results that I'm working out, and they look at it, they go, wow. It's like subconsciously over time, they just started morphing into, well, I'm gonna work out now. Jay was doing an event on the weekend. Jay was speaking at a Zoom event. Guess who else is speaking at a Zoom event in the last 30 days? Me! And like, I'm so happy to see that like they're resembling what happens here, right? So I'm not pushing my team. I'm not telling like, go do more in your life. I'm not doing that at all. I'm just doing more myself. You get what I'm saying? And because I'm doing more myself, all they see when they come to work every day is that. And so because all they see is that, they go, well, I want to do that. But they don't, here's the trick. They don't sit there and go, because Armin's doing it, I want to do it. No. They don't even notice, actually. Over time, they just go, I just feel like doing this. And they have no idea where the desire comes from. It just comes to them. It's like natural. It like boils up. They're like, I feel like doing this. And then like somehow they bring it in and an opportunity shows up and they do it. And like when you analyze it and go back, when did this start happening? It wasn't until someone took charge in the group to do it, right? So, and by the way, I'm not the only one. Like I feel like Isaiah's done a lot of things that we've all watched and we're like, yo, we should start doing that, Like Isaiah watched Kung Fu Panda over the weekend. We were talking about Kung Fu Panda in the symbolism of like movies. So how you create better culture in your company is making sure you are an example of that culture. That's number one. Number two, an obvious hack to this is go and study the greatest company cultures ever lived, and notice what they did. Like I watched a lot of CEOs over the last 7 years, interviews, seeing how people think, and I've taken ideas from like how Amazon runs, how Apple runs, how Facebook runs, and I've learned how their culture is, and I loved it. Or I'll learn something like small thing. I call TD, right, for my international friends, as my bank here. Toronto Dominion Bank of Canada, whatever, TD Canada Trust. When I call them, they always, like small things, look at this. They always thank me for calling through the mobile app. It's a commercial for TD. Always they go, I see you've called from the mobile app. Thank you. Because they want you to like log into your app and then call. And when you do that, they get all your information so they don't have to ask you over the phone for like 5 minutes and try to find you. So I'm like, I love that they like thank you for what they want you to do. So I just take that small thing and I go, I love that idea. And we bring it in the team. So what do? And our customers, we thank them for booking a call with a strategy session with our team, with our office, right? We thank them for finishing things. I start to thank my team for small things they're doing because I'm like, that's what I want them to do. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I go and look at what other companies are doing and what works, and I love what they're doing, and I bring it into the team. But like that won't overpower or fix if you have issues. So you got to make sure as a leader, as an owner, you yourself resemble what you want the team to resemble. It is never integrable to ask your team to do something you haven't done. You know what I'm saying? Like don't tell them to do things that are right that you're not doing. You get what I mean? An example is if you don't want none of your team to have like bad habits, like or smoking or drinking or whatever, you can't go out and smoke yourself on breaks and then come back and be like, you guys shouldn't be doing this. Like that doesn't work. And even though I don't demand things of the team, I put a high standard for myself, and I think they just model it and they go, yeah, that's the standard. But without me having to say anything, the culture gets built around the owner. Okay, so grow yourself. I was thinking about this over the weekend. The answer to everything is just change yourself. Everything. Like there's not one thing you can't fix if you don't change yourself. Like if you have problems in life, change yourself. Like Armin, I'm already changed. I have paradigm shift. I've done all these things, but everything around me still sucks. No, that just means you haven't changed. You think you've changed. If you genuinely transform your own self, your own mind, your own life, and you do things that are the hardest things to do but is necessary, what happens is everything around you changes. Everything around you changes. And I'll give you a great example of this. 5 years ago, if you told me to go hang out with my family, I would say no. I didn't enjoy it. I despised it. I never felt connected to them. None of them. This is my fault, by the way. Because I just I disconnected myself. And I made myself believe things that didn't allow me to connect to my family, like that I'm either smarter than they are, or I'm doing more, they're not doing enough. There's these stupid things I would think. And some of you might look at them like, maybe that's true. Some of you might look, maybe that's not true. It doesn't matter which one's true or false. What matters is the outcome was I would not connect with my family. And so because I thought I've changed my life, I'm like, I've changed my life. They should be like me. I realized that's still a flawed thought, that they should be like me. So that alone, I had to change that. I didn't realize it in the moment. I thought I was changing my life, so everyone else, the environment around me should change. No. Thinking everyone should be like you is still a problem. But until I grew, like 5 years later, and I only focused on myself, like I never worried about how my family was. I never worried about how anyone else was other than myself. Somehow, the people around me started to influence themselves and change. And yesterday, I hung out with my family for like most of the day, and it was the greatest time ever. 5 years ago, if you told me I could have a day like this, like yesterday, I wouldn't believe you. That's how much they've changed. And maybe here's the weird part. Maybe they didn't change. Maybe I changed. Maybe I changed, and I'm experiencing them differently because, like, maybe they're still the same person, but I changed, and I have a different experience because of that. It's like if you're always a person who complains about things and always a person who finds something wrong with everything and always a person who always sees everything half empty instead of half full, then it doesn't matter what restaurant you eat, all the food's always going to taste bad. Doesn't matter what gym you go to, all the gym service is going to be bad. Doesn't matter who you buy something from, all the products are going to be bad. Because your brain has been trained to only notice what is not enough. And because your brain has been trained to notice what is not enough and why something is wrong all the time, you have an impossibility to be happy with things. It actually has no... I'll give you a great example. I go out eat with friends. I rarely complain about I rarely complain about a lot of things. I still complain, and it's just like it's how I got raised is like that was normal. So I'm still like filtering complaining out of my system, or criticizing things. Like I'm trying to get it out of me, and I'm doing it. Like it's almost all gone. But sometimes I might eat something. I'm like, oh, this could have been better. Whatever. Most of the time, I'm like, I'm grateful, even if it was kind of not that good. I'm like, at least I ate. So my brain has been trained to enjoy every meal, everything I have. Right. If I go out with someone, I have people in my life, like if I go out to eat with them, they always find what's wrong with something. Oh, it's not enough. I say, let's go eat here. Oh, that's bad. Let's go eat there. Oh, that's bad too. Let's go eat there. Oh, that's garbage. Do you know where you want to eat? Oh, no, I don't know. What? There's a problem here. And so it's like, you put me in front of any meal, I'm like, yeah, this is great. I don't look at, oh, that was too expensive for this meal. It could have been better. We could have, like, you know, all this crap. But like someone else will sit down, no matter what they eat, give them like a 5-star meal. They're going to be like, oh, it's too expensive for the meal. You still finding reasons wrong with the meal? Like, relax. So I realized that like people like that just are complainers. Like, don't change them. Just know that that's what they do. Jim Rohn said this nicely. He goes, a pastor did a. It's actually really funny. I can't remember the story exactly. I won't do it justice, but I remember the gist of it. He goes, a long time ago, a pastor did his first sermon, and he delivered his first sermon in front of an audience of people, and it was known. The story's told as it was known as one of the best sermons ever told in history. Now, in the same audience, there were a group of people that were making fun of the sermon, and we don't know why. Because you know, he was like, I was sitting in the audience and I was listening. I'm like, this is the greatest sermon I've ever heard in my life. It makes so much sense, and it was so many breakthroughs, and it's such a great sermon. And you're looking at it, and you realize there's still a group of people in the audience making fun of the speech. And he goes, well, I couldn't tell why, because if me and that person were looking at the same speech, why on earth would they think there's something to mock about it when I think it's great? And I realized this. It's because those are mockers. That's what they do. No matter what they put in front of them, they're going to mock it. They're going to make fun of it. And then next to that, there was a group of people who didn't believe in what the sermon was. They didn't believe in the words. I was listening. I believed every word because I realized, I'm like, wow, this is such a powerful sermon. But they didn't believe. They doubted everything. They were skeptical. And he realized, he goes, why would they think, if we watched the same speech, why would they think that the sermon was non-believable? And he realized something. It's because those are non-believers. That's what they do. They non-believe things. No matter what they get put in front of them, they will not believe in it. Because that's what they are. And next to them is a group of people who are just totally disengaged, don't even care. They're careless. They don't care if it's good or if it's bad. They don't care at all. He goes, but if they watched the same sermon I just watched, and I thought it was great, why would they ever think it's something to not care about? And he realized something. Those are just careless people. Now here's the trick. You can sit down and ask yourself, why are they non-believers? Why are they mockers? Why are they careless? He goes, beats me. I don't know. All I know is that that's what they are. So leave them the way they are. Don't try to change them. Just know that that is who they are. And then next to them is a group of people who thought this was the greatest sermon ever. They believed in every word they heard. And he realized something. Those people are believers. And no matter what you put in front of them, they'll always be believers. They'll always see the good in it. And he goes, beats me why people are the way they are. All I know is I've learned to just look for the believers and let everybody else stay the same. Now you have a really good life. You got something going for you. I remember hearing Jim Rohn say this, and I'm like, that's so brilliant. You know, and he's like, even a group of them were liars. They went around saying that this was terrible, and like the person said things that he didn't say. They lied about what they heard. He goes, why would they lie? He goes, what do you mean, why would they lie? They're liars. That's why they would lie. Because that's what they do. And I'm like laughing. I'm like, that's so true. If they're liars, you're calling them liars for a reason. Because they lie. Why are you confused that they lie? Right? It's like saying these are people that work out. Why are they working out? Because they're people that work out. Look, they're working out. That's why they're working out. So you got to accept people for the way they are. And when I heard that, I'm like, damn. So it's maybe the cause of stress in life. People try to change people. That's it. It's like you look at someone that's not something they're supposed to be, and they're like, you're trying to change them. You go, but Armin, everyone can change. I know everybody can change. All those different, the mockers, the liars, the non-believers, they can change if they want to change. Is that a fire? Fire emojis? Right? If they want to change, they can change. But you can't change them. You can only be a believer. And if they like it, it rubs off. They'll maybe be a believer one day. But here's one thing I know for sure. You shouldn't try to figure out why they aren't like you. And that like gave me such a big epiphany. I'm sitting there like, all the problems I've ever had in my life with people is when I haven't accepted them for what they are. I've had people come through my business. Some of them are dramatic. I'm always trying to figure out why they're dramatic. All the time, I'm like, why do they bring so much drama into life and into the business? And I would try to like fix it and change it. And I'm like, it's because they're dramatic people. Like, what? They're drama queens and kings. That's just what it is. So my decision is, do I want drama queens in the business or not? End of story. Drama queens, drama kings. That is what they do. You know how I notice? When I go into their own lives, I realize the drama's everywhere. It's not just in my business. So a person who's dramatic all the time, starting to sound like Jim Rohn now. It's okay, I love him. People who are dramatic all the time, they're going to be dramatic all the time. That's it. Right? I had some people come into my business. They were entitled. I'm going to say it straight. Entitled. Didn't earn what they would ask for. And no matter what they got, they always thought there needs to be more. No matter what I did for them, there had to be more. It was not enough. Nothing was ever enough. Everything was not enough. I need more. And then here's the worst part. They would want more, but not want to work more. So I would, scratch my skin off my face trying to figure out why these people are this way. I'm like, I'm Armin Chaffee. I should be able to change them. But that's my job. No! There's a difference between someone who's paying me to come to a seminar to learn how to change than someone who's working for me doesn't think they need my help. And they're getting paid. Big difference. And when I heard this, I realized I should have just realized they're entitled people. That's what they are. Why am I confused about why they're entitled? That's just what they do. Go into their personal life, they'll probably be entitled at home and at the bank and at work and at school and at everywhere. They're probably at the gym lifting a little bit of weights, wondering why muscle isn't there more because they're not working out more. Oh, this weight doesn't work. This gym membership doesn't work. This personal trainer doesn't work. Everything is entitlement. And I realized, I'm like, damn, that's just what entitled people do. It's like, yeah, I can sit there and try to change them, or I could have a life, because you're going to risk your life if you try to change people that obviously are the way they are. So I just have to decide, do I want entitled people in my business? That's it. That's my only decision. No, I don't. Done. Gone. Can't do it no more. It is a different thing if someone comes and they want help to change. They show it. But when they're not, guys, if they're not, listen, if you're a coach right now and you have clients and they're not asking, like maybe they paid you, but they're not really telling you they want your help, until you've made them commit, like admit to you they need your help and that they need to change, I would not take their money. I'm like that, I like to ask people, I'm like, why are you just doing it on your own? No, I can't do it on my own. I need someone's help. Well, why change at all? Looks like you're having a great life. No, I really hate my life. I want this instead. Okay, great. Pay me, let's get this started. But, if you don't get people to admit that, they're not going to want to work with you. So it's cool because in my life I realized, I just have to accept the way people are. I always focus on improving myself, but accept the way people are. And guess what I do? I decide if I want to be around them. That's it. Luckily I've never had liars in my business. I think because I'm so I'm so intolerant of that. Dishonesty is actually I've had one terribly, terribly good liar. But honestly he earned he fooled me so well. This is how good it was. That I genuinely, when I found out he's just a lying piece of crap, when I found out, I'm like, wow. He did a great job. So he kind of earned, whatever he gets out of this. I got to give it to the guy. He's a professional. So to me, I'm like, but that's what he is. A liar. Why would I try to change a liar? So get out of my business. Right? So it's do you understand what I'm saying, guys? This is a person who criticizes everybody. Don't try to figure out why they criticize everybody. Just realize they're criticizers. Done. You either want to be around them or you don't. You go, that's a little harsh. Life doesn't care. Life does not care whether it's harsh, soft like a marshmallow, or hard like a rock. It doesn't give a crap. You better care a little bit about your own life. Okay? You got to do whatever it takes to have a good life for yourself. And there are people like that. And I promise you, when you get rid of the bad people, bad people. I'm talking about people that have bad behaviors. Maybe there's some you don't want them to be around you. When you get rid of them, guess what happens? The vacuum fills up great people in your life. Only when you set the precedent of what you want in life. Does that make sense?